Dear students, today I am going to deal with a new concept, that is oogenesis. And already you are all familiar with the definition of oogenesis, that is the process of formation of haploid female gamete, that is ova or egg, from the diploid oogonial cell. That process is known as oogenesis, and this process usually takes place in the ovaries of the female body. And now few differences between spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Spermatogenesis usually takes place in the testes of male body, but oogenesis, this process takes place in the ovaries of the female body. And spermatogenesis, that process is continuous process and it starts from the pubertal age, but here oogenesis, this is the discontinuous process and it starts from embryonic life or first month of gestation period, and it stops after birth, and again it starts from the pubertal age. Hence this oogenesis process is known as discontinuous process, but spermatogenesis is known as continuous process, and spermatogenesis, that process starts from the age of puberty or at puberty. And now one more question for your theory exam. What is puberty? Puberty is nothing but period of sexually maturity. That period is known as puberty. And now this oogenesis process takes place, or it starts from the embryonic life. And dear students, remember this thing, in first gestation period or in first month of embryonic life, in case of mother's womb, that first month fetus has 1700 primary follicles. But this number will be increases in second month of female fetus has 6 lakhs of primary follicles. That number will be increases in first month of embryonic life or first month of female fetus has just 1700 primary follicles, but in the second month of female fetus we observe 6 lakhs of primary follicles in their ovary. And also in fifth month female fetus, the ovaries, they contains 7 millions of primary follicles in their ovaries. That number will be increases, and then after this, these primary follicles, they undergoes atresia. Atresia, that means shrinkage of follicles. Due to this shrinkage of follicles, this number will be decreases at birth. That means at birth, the female fetus, actually in female child, the ovaries, they have just 2 millions of primary follicles. This is the number at birth. After birth, that female child, the ovaries of female child, they have just 2 millions of primary follicles. Okay. And dear students, remember this thing, after birth no new primary follicles are formed. No new primary follicles are formed after birth. This process will be stops. And then, but this number will be decreases up to puberty. That means in case of pubertal women, the number of primary follicles, that is 60,000 to 80,000. This is the number of primary follicles present in the pubertal woman. And now again this oogenesis process, again it starts from puberty, and now we will discuss this process in detail. So this oogenesis process, it starts from embryonic life, and again it stops after birth, and again it starts from the pubertal age. That means actually this oogenesis process, this process which completes in 3 phases. The first phase is multiplication phase, and second phase is growth phase, and third phase is maturation phase. Dear students, this process oogenesis, it starts from embryonic life or fetal life, and it completes in 3 steps or 3 phases. The first phase is multiplication phase, and second phase is growth phase, and third phase is maturation phase. In case of spermatogenesis, already we are all familiar with these 3 words: multiplication phase, growth phase, and maturation phase. In multiplication phase, the mother cells undergoes repeated mitotic division, and their number will be increases. And in growth phase, only size of the cell increases. Here no multiplication takes place in growth phase, but just size of the cell increases. In maturation phase, the gametes will going to mature. Okay. Similarly, in case of oogenesis also, primary oogonial cell which enters into first phase, this diploid primary oogonial cell enters into first phase of oogenesis, that is multiplication phase. Multiplication phase is nothing but this diploid primary oogonial cell undergoes repeated mitotic division. As a result of this, 2 diploid daughter cells are formed. 2 equal sized diploid daughter cells are formed when this primary oogonia undergoes mitosis. This phase is known as multiplication phase. In multiplication phase, primary oogonial cell undergoes mitosis or repeated mitotic division. As a result of this mitotic division, 2 diploid cells are formed. They are daughter cells, and they are also diploid. Reason is this mother cell undergoes mitosis. Mitosis process is the equational division. That means daughter cells, they have same number of chromosomes from their parents or as that of parents. And here these cells are known as oogonial cells or oogonia. Now primary oogonial cells undergoes repeated mitotic division. As a result of this repeated mitotic division, 2 newly daughter cells are formed, and these 2 diploid daughter cells, now we call them as oogonial cells. And now one of the oogonial cell which enters into next phase, that is growth phase. In growth phase, already you are all familiar with the word growth phase. That means only size of the cell increases. Here also size of the cell increases. Here cell do not undergoes any type of multiplication, but size of the cell increases. And here this cell also diploid in nature, but size of the cell increases. Reason is due to the vitellogenesis process. Due to vitellogenesis process, the size of the cell increases due to vitellogenesis. Vitellogenesis means formation of yolk or yolk formation. That process is known as vitellogenesis. Okay. And now for your NEET exam, now this cell is known as primary oocyte. This cell is known as primary oocyte, and this is also diploid cell. Okay, and this cell is known as primary oocyte. And dear students, for your NEET exam, this primary oocyte which enters into next phase, that is maturation phase. Already you are all familiar with maturation phase. In maturation phase, we observe two kinds of meiosis process, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. When this primary oocyte which enters into meiosis 1, here this primary oocyte which gets arrest, in prophase 1. This thing is very important for your NEET exam. In which stage primary oocyte gets arrest? This is the question arises in your NEET exam. This primary oocyte which gets arrest in prophase 1, and after that again this process which continues when primary oocyte which enters into maturation phase in prophase 1 which gets arrest and again going to divide into two unequal daughter cells. That means primary oocyte which enters into maturation phase, in that this primary oocyte undergoes meiosis 1 or meiotic division 1. As a result of this meiosis 1, two unequal sized cells are formed. This smaller cell is known as polar body 1 or first polar body. This smaller cell is known as first polar body, but this larger cell is known as secondary oocyte. And for your NEET exam, ploidy of the primary oocyte is diploid. Two sets of chromosomes are present in this cell. And now ploidy of the secondary oocyte, that is haploid. These two cells are haploid cells. Reason is this diploid primary oocyte cell undergoes meiosis 1. Meiosis 1 is the reductional division. The number of chromosomes decreases in their daughter cells. Here haploid cell, this haploid secondary oocyte formed by the diploid primary oocyte. And then again this process, it stops up to entry of sperm into secondary oocyte. That means this secondary oocyte which undergoes second meiotic division only when sperm which reaches the secondary oocyte, when sperm gets contact with this secondary oocyte, then immediately this secondary oocyte undergoes meiosis 2. As a result of this meiosis 2, again two unequal sized cells are formed. One cell is smaller and another cell is larger. This smaller cell is known as second polar body. And now this larger cell is known as ova or ovum, also known as egg. This is the process of oogenesis. But in your NEET exam, how many polar bodies are formed in the process of oogenesis? This is the question so many times asked in your NEET exam. Actually here this is first polar body and this is second polar body. And dear students, here first polar body again undergoes multiply into two equal polar bodies. So here total number of polar bodies are formed in this process, that is 4 polar bodies, and after the completion, after this process, these 4 polar bodies they are going to degenerate. Okay, finally ova will be formed when the entry of sperm takes place or when sperm reaches the secondary oocyte. That secondary oocyte undergoes meiosis 2 or second meiotic division. As a result of this, ova will be formed. This is the process of oogenesis. I will explain one more time. This is diploid primary oogonial cell which enters into first phase of oogenesis, that is multiplication phase. multiplication phase. In this phase, this primary oogonial cell undergoes repeated mitotic division. As a result of this repeated mitotic division, equal daughter cells are formed and daughter cells are diploid cells. Reason is mitotic, that mother cell undergoes mitotic division, and here these daughter cells are known as oogonial cells. And again these oogonial cells which enters into next phase, that is growth phase. In growth phase, size of the cell increases due to the vitellogenesis process. Vitellogenesis is nothing but yolk formation. That process is known as vitellogenesis. And now this cell is known as primary oocyte. This is also diploid in nature. This diploid primary oocyte which enters into next phase, that is maturation phase. In maturation phase, this primary oocyte which gets arrest in prophase 1. After that, this process again will be continued, that primary oocyte undergoes meiosis 1. As a result of this, two unequal sized daughter cells are formed, but they are haploid in nature. The cells are unequal sized. Reason is unequal distribution of cytoplasm. What is the reason unequal sized daughter cells are formed? Okay, reason is unequal distribution of cytoplasm from the primary oocyte. This is the main reason. So as a result of this, two unequal sized daughter cells are formed. Now this smaller cell is known as first polar body, and this larger cell is known as secondary oocyte. And secondary oocyte which undergoes meiosis 2 only when sperm which reaches the secondary oocyte, and immediately it undergoes meiosis 2, and finally which produces ova and second polar body. Here also two unequal sized cells are formed. Smaller cell is known as second polar body and larger cell is known as ova. Okay, so this is the process of oogenesis. And dear students, now next concept is hormonal control. Hormonal control of male reproductive system and hormonal control of female reproductive system. In that, first one is hormonal control of male reproductive system. Okay, so this is one of the important concept for your NEET exam and for your CET exam. Hormonal control of male reproductive system. And dear students, our hypothalamus which produces one hormone, that is GnRH, which produces a hormone, that is GnRH. GnRH is nothing but gonadotropin releasing hormone. Hypothalamus which secretes or releases GnRH hormone, nothing but gonadotropin releasing hormone. And now increase in the level of GnRH hormone which acts on or which stimulates the anterior pituitary, which stimulates the anterior pituitary. Increase in the level of GnRH hormone which stimulates the anterior pituitary for the secretion of two hormones. One is FSH and LH hormone. Hypothalamus releases GnRH hormone. GnRH means gonadotropin releasing hormone, and this increase in the level of GnRH hormone which stimulates the anterior pituitary. And now this anterior pituitary which releases or which secretes two kinds of hormone. One is FSH and LH hormone. FSH means follicular stimulating hormone and LH means luteinizing hormone. LH hormone is also known as ICSH. Here this is also known as ICSH, interstitial cell stimulating hormone. This LH hormone is also known as ICSH hormone. That means interstitial cell stimulating hormone. Interstitial cells are also known as Leydig cells. I will explain later. Okay. And now these two hormones are very, very important in the process of regulation of male reproductive system. One is FSH and another one is LH or ICSH. And now this FSH hormone and ICSH, also known as LH hormone, follicular stimulating hormone, and ICSH means interstitial cell stimulating hormone, also known as luteinizing hormone. This FSH hormone which acts on Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells, they are present in seminiferous tubules. Okay, and already you are all familiar with the function of Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells, they are responsible, actually they are responsible for the nourishment. They gives nourishment to the developing spermatids or spermatozoa. Okay, when this FSH hormone acts on Sertoli cells, then immediately Sertoli cells, they releases some factors and which may help for the process of spermiogenesis. What is spermiogenesis? Process of transformation of inactive spermatids or non-motile spermatids into motile sperm or motile spermatozoa. That process is known as spermiogenesis. And dear students, remember these things. Spermiation is differ from spermatogenesis. Spermiation means process of production of sperms or male gamete from the seminiferous tubule. That process is known as spermiation. But here spermiogenesis means actually the process of transformation of non-motile spermatids into motile sperms. And then in other end, ICSH hormone or LH hormone which stimulates the testes or Leydig cells, actually stimulates the Leydig cells. Leydig cells are also known as interstitial cells. Interstitial cells, and immediately these cells, interstitial cells or Leydig cells, they are going to secrete male hormone, that is testosterone. Testosterone hormone, also known as androgens. Androgens or androgen hormone. And now this testosterone hormone, this is responsible for secondary sexual characters in males. It is responsible for secondary sexual characters in males, and also this testosterone hormone which stimulates the process of spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis. Dear students, don't be confused. This is spermiogenesis, but here this is spermatogenesis. Spermiogenesis means transformation of non-motile spermatids into motile sperm. But here spermatogenesis, that means process of production of haploid sperms from the diploid spermatogonial cells in testes. Okay, so this is the hormonal control in case of males. And actually I will explain one more time. Hypothalamus releases GnRH hormone. GnRH hormone is nothing but gonadotropin releasing hormone, which stimulates the anterior pituitary. Increasing the level of GnRH hormone stimulates anterior pituitary, and then anterior pituitary which secretes two hormones. One is FSH and ICSH, also known as LH hormone. Follicular stimulating hormone, interstitial cell stimulating hormone, also known as luteinizing hormone. And now FSH hormone, which influences the or which acts on Sertoli cells, which stimulates the Sertoli cells immediately secretes some factors, and those factors they regulates the process of spermiogenesis. And in other end, ICSH hormone or LH hormone, which affects on or which stimulates Leydig cells or interstitial cells for the secretion of testosterone hormone. Testosterone hormone also known as androgens. This is male hormone. Okay. And then testosterone hormone, which regulates or responsible for secondary sexual characters in case of males, and they also regulates the process of spermatogenesis. And now hormonal control of female reproductive system. Hormonal control of female reproductive system. Okay, dear students, here also hypothalamus which secretes GnRH hormone, gonadotropin releasing hormone, and increasing the level of GnH hormone going to stimulate anterior pituitary, again anterior pituitary. And now this anterior pituitary which secretes again two hormones, one is FSH and LH hormone. And now this FSH hormone actually which stimulates the follicular cells. FSH hormone stimulates follicular cells for the secretion of a hormone, female hormone, that is progesterone. Progesterone hormone, commonly known as pregnancy hormone, it is very essential during pregnancy. And in other end, LH hormone, which stimulates the process of ovulation. LH hormone which induces or which stimulates the process of ovulation. Ovulation process is nothing but process of release of secondary oocyte from the matured Graafian follicle. Okay, that process is known as ovulation. We will discuss in the concept of menstrual cycle in detail. And then this LH hormone also influences the transformation of empty Graafian follicle into corpus luteum. That means which converts the empty Graafian follicle after ovulation into corpus luteum. Already, dear students, you are all familiar with corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is the temporary endocrine gland present in case of female reproductive system or female ovaries, that is corpus luteum, which secretes progesterone hormone. Sorry dear students, here follicular cells they secretes estrogen hormone. Estrogen hormone, and estrogen hormone, it is responsible for secondary sexual characters in case of females. FSH hormone which secretes estrogen hormone when FSH hormone which stimulates the follicular cells secretes estrogen hormone. Estrogen hormone is responsible for the maintenance of secondary sexual characters in case of females. But here corpus luteum which secretes progesterone hormone. Progesterone hormone is very essential during pregnancy. Okay.